Hey, everybody. Oh, Nate just leaves. He's like, I'm done. I quit. I'm telling terrible dad jokes is what's going on here. I'm sorry.
He went to go get a cucumber, I think is what he did.
Oh, no. Okay, so Warbs, Monster Effects, thanks for the subs. Appreciate you guys coming back for another round with us. Which reminds me, please, Ben, go load up your Twitch on your other account and totally remember to resubscribe because you forgot to do it last month. Talking to myself here. Cool. There's my 3-month subiversary. Ta-da! All right, welcome back, everybody. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
We're gonna hit him with the hi moms in chat.
Got it.
Because we missed everybody last week.
Yeah.
But it is great to be back. Let me turn down my volume controls here. There we go. Welcome back, everybody. We missed y'all last week, but we are back. It was a good little break for us. I think a lot of us took that opportunity where some people were like, I have to be up for X, Y, and Z. And other people were like, I have the Diablo flu. And we all played Diablo last week. Dino made it at the beginning of the stream. Hi, Dino.
Dino.
But we missed you guys last week. It's been fantastic. So we'll do a quick round of intros. Let everybody say hello to you. And we'll start with David.
Hi there, I'm David, and I play Batran Yor, the human witch warlock with a brand new blade.
For a fancy blade. Next is Nate.
Hi, I'm Nate. I play Soren, the half-elf blade singer rogue.
After that, we got Zach.
Hey, everyone. I'm Zach. I play Doran, the Dragonborn Barbarian.
They got me not taking a drink fast enough. And Josh.
Hi everybody, I'm Josh. I play Jaeger Hellstrom, the human gunslinger alchemist.
After that, we got Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play Maximil, the Tiefling Sorceress Bard.
And last but not least, with some of the thirstiest swimsuit art while we were on break there, we got Maddie.
Hello, I'm Maddie. I play Isadora, the gun tank, half elf.
I almost broke our cameras there for a second. I'm sorry, everybody on the stream. And I'm Ben. I play just about everybody else.
Just about.
Just about. Not quite everybody else, but just about everybody else.
Give or take.
Give or take a few people. So last time we were here, we had I wouldn't call it R&R, but a little bit of recovery after the madness of the previous sessions. Sarah's getting into the notes, the tome of notes there. How many pages do we have left, Sarah?
A few. We have like this much.
Not enough.
Oh, we don't feel that. We don't feel that so fast. Yeah, that's gonna be good. It's time for that new notebook smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last time we were here, we'll just kind of roundtable it since our brains are poisoned from too much Diablo, and some of us may not remember, and some of us were not here. I know David missed our last session, but David Batran did get that super awesome dagger bequeathed to him or to them. And last time we were here, Batran spent some time re-summoning Spackle, I think was kind of the deal as everybody was getting some rest. And then just kind of hang out with the group while we were doing a little bit of investigating. But I believe after we ended with Galaxlin and got the forces mostly turned away, Freondiri took off, and you all got back into the city and kind of saw the destruction that was ongoing and people trying to recover, but helped out for a while with the recovery efforts. Got some people saved for some rubble, but it was an ongoing situation. So there was a lot of people that were in mourning, but a lot of people celebrating too, because the city just got sieged and over the course of a day, and you guys managed to survive. So as it said in our little splash coming into the campaign today for you guys that log into our Foundry session, a lot of sadness or a lot of breath of relief that was immediately replaced with sorrow and sadness as people realized that their friends and loved ones were at the mercy of the siege. A lot of heroes that were celebrated, the guardsmen that laid down their lives. We did see at one point Davin Dumont finally getting some respite from the screaming voices in his mind, and was able to do whatever healing that he could, and then lay his friends to rest and read some final rites for people. And we also saw a very, very ecstatic Hazel and Val reuniting in sobs and hugs as they found each other back in the city, and immediately joining in with Val's favorite pastime of dancing and celebrating and lots of drinking, because holy shit, that day was a day. And I think that the last note we had in there is towards the end of the night, the last thing we saw for those two was them drunkenly trying to convince a high priest of Tonos, who's the god of miracles, just completely wasted, harassing this man that they should definitely get free resurrection for their friends because they laid down their lives in defense of the city. And this priest trying to explain, okay, that's not really how miracles work. Please, I'm just trying to help people. But you all kind of touched base with your loved ones. I know Soren reached out to Saviel to make sure that she knew that he was okay. The shop mostly undamaged, some soot and ash on the windows from some of the burning, but otherwise the shop and home were both untouched. You all basically collected your thoughts, I think, and told that someone would fetch you for the academy. Like you had Malara Dora Sailor wanted to speak to you all, and had somebody of note that they wanted to speak to you as well, Rubris Devona, which Soren had a bit of a moment about finding that out, I think. Yeah, Soren had a bit of a fangirl moment on that one. However,
It's the guy, man. He's the guy.
He's the guy. Super late into the night, I think you guys basically just like grabbed some quick sleep for a very quick rest. And it was still like, it was midday by the time you guys had made your way back to the shop or Soren's Arcanery to rest. So it was middle of the night there by the time you guys like actually got woken back up. Like you had finished a full rest by about 1-2 in the morning. And you were brought to the Luminary Academy, which had signs of battle as well. People tried to siege that, but that is a high level of fuck around and find out is attacking a college of wizards. That ended up going pretty badly for those people. So most of the wizard had like gone to help with the saving of the city, but by the time you guys got there, a lot of the city had recovered and there were celebrations and mourning going deep into the night. But Cyorion's the kind of place that a lot of people have celebrations of life rather than long periods of mourning. In a big city like this, a lot of people were out in force just with food and drink available for everybody to revitalize themselves, and the city started to pull together, especially when word got out that a large part of the government had been infiltrated and left everybody to hang out to dry. So there are a few leaders of the city out, I would say proselytizing, making stump speeches, but really being there for their people and showing that they did not know what was going on just as much as regular citizens, that they had been lied to. And there's a bit of a political upheaval from the citizens for why this hadn't been seen. Thankfully, though, Arkaroth's chosen, and this whole anti-touched talk has died away very quickly. And now it's more focused on rebuilding and not letting people infiltrate the government again, because that turned out to be pretty bad. You all made your way up to the observatory at the tallest tower of the Kizarvexis Luminary Academy, the Tower of the Astakiran, a college of wizards focused solely on astronomy, astrology, the position of the stars, the life cycle of stars in the heavens, and how they tied to Cyorion. And as players, you found out something that may have been, a little bit of new information for you all, that your characters never thought was weird. that the stars in the ceiling of this observatory had just very tiny little marks, whereas other observatories would have star charts and how the stars move through the seasons. In Cyorion, they all stay very tightly locked to a very small area, and it's, as players, you surmise that it's just the wobble of the planet that causes this shift, and that all of the stars are stationary in the sky as well.
And that would be something that our characters do know. Like,
Do
that's
know
normal.
it was not weird to them. Constellations don't move; they're static in the sky. But
Got it.
you know, I've played with you guys for a year and a half, and I never told you that on purpose.
Then we found out that Kitsune are from space!
Yep. And then you met Rubers Devona, an Antilocap, which is a senior master of the Astrakiran. This person who is a scholar of the stars and the heavens, someone that's revered, turns out to be a fox person. As Soren's having a moment, this person flourishes their robes, and in a puff of smoke now this seven-tailed fox person is standing there in the same wizard robes, and explains that his kind come from another place, and says if you look at it from Cyorion, he's pretty sure it's that bright one right there still, and points out a particular shiny spot in the sky. And I don't think anyone incited him. It didn't.
Nope.
I did.
Good job, Butcher. Yeah. Jaeger, though, not starstruck. I'll let you know as we go back in here. As Rubers is like, oh, yes, it's that one. Right there is where we're from. He's not telling the full truth. His body language is off. He's clearly shaken by the events of what's happened. Something's got him on edge. And he's it sounds like he's this may be not the most politically correct way to say this, but it sounds like he's a religious leader trying to say something in a fashion that's consumable by the masses. Like, it sounds like he's either dumbing it down or changing the truth for you, Jaeger, that enough that you'll be like, sure, that's plausible, and ignore the fact that this is probably a lot of bullshit.
Is there, like, can you describe the chamber that we're in a bit?
Yeah,
Like
you're in
exits specifically?
So specifically, there are two entrances, exits. There's two large doors that go along the hallway. This part of the tower, you walked out from the elevator out to, like, you go straight down the tower to the balcony and be able to look out. The entire left side of the tower is the observatory. The right side has a study and a small library. It's got Mesa Laura's offices. It's got Rubris's offices somewhere in there, but it's more small rooms and meeting areas on the right hand side, whereas the left side has these two entrances that step up, and then it goes over the top, and you kind of walk up into this big observatory that's a large glass dome that has shutters for when the sun comes out, so that doesn't literally turn this room into an oven. But during the nighttime, it opens up, and it's a large stellar observatory. There's seats all around that recline up, and as you're looking up at this, the entire glass ceiling's enchanted to where, as he points things out with his wand, it lights up the engraving in a slight blue glow, so you can see what he's pointing at against this backdrop of the sky.
So there's two exits though, and we came in from one of them. Is the other one on the other side of us?
It's basically, if you were to walk down the hall further, you can get to the other entrance. So I think Soren and Maximiel may have recognized that students have to use the stairs. They don't get the staff elevator. Students' entrance is that side. This is the staff entrance.
So I'm going to flank around him, kind of getting a different view of what he's looking at.
Sure.
But putting my gun on the side of the door so I can have my hand on it.
Yeah. So
while I go around him.
The entrance to the room down below, like the space below this like raised observatory, has access to, like, it's just got a lot of storage and stuff down there, and it's got charts and things like that. It's a room for people to work, large open spaces. Then it kind of goes these two these staircases against the wall that lead up into this this observation deck would be the best way to say it. And then the two staircases connect if you follow them down the outside, down to the two buildings. So you can stand on the railing up there and have your gun pointed right down at the door.
Yeah, I won't be drawing it. I'm just opening up my jacket. I can make a sleight of hand check too. I'm trying not to make it known that I am going into a defensive stance.
Sure.
And being ready because I do not trust this guy. And I'm just positioning myself opposite of the party to cut off the other door because what I'm hearing isn't necessarily aligning to my radar.
Yeah, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check just to see if
Let's see. Sleight of hand is here. That is an 18.
Okay. He doesn't shift in his posture at all, or like he doesn't even notice you moving. He's still talking about the heavens above him, and everybody else seems to be fixated on him. As far as you're aware, I don't think anybody else has acted strangely about him.
I will be watching his intentions, not where he's pointing and falling for that. So I'm eyes on him, but I will say, so when did you arrive here? If you're from not here.
The last time or the first time?
The last time, I guess.
Well, double checking something. And second.
While you're checking that, can I insight check the last time or the first time bit?
Sure. Well, you see,
27.
Oh, Jesus.
Sheesh.
Well, so with that insight check, I'll tell you that you don't sense any deception or strange body language. He's actually thinking. He's considering something. He seems very truthful in his posture and the way he's delivering this. Around the last time, you see, there's if we were to go by your timeline, it would have been about 100 years ago. But you don't understand. My people from where I'm from, they're born there, and we lived. We age much slower there. There have been some of my kind that have been born here, and they only live to be about 70 years old here. But honestly, the first time I came here by your standards would have been about 360 years ago.
And how is it exactly that you came here? Multiple times, let alone once, from somewhere else beyond the stars?
Oh, there are these amazing spells that we've tried to replicate, but that's why I helped found the academy here, because I was hoping one day to, find a way back home. I lent my services, but they just don't work anymore. I could show you if you'd like.
Ooh,
Sure.
yes,
And
please.
Malara
Yes,
is looking at him like very confused. And he goes,
Being
sure, absolutely. And he pulls out this wand and begins to twist arcane sigils that look like abjuration and transmutation sigils. A massive spell, something far beyond your understanding. That he casts it, this shimmering, watery gateway appears for a moment, and then it shatters and kaleidoscopes, and the pattern becomes twisted like stained glass and unrecognizable.
Is that because the sky is cracked?
That's the best I could surmise. As soon as all those things went down with Burroughs, the academy was here after the war, so I came over here and, I had visited the academy before and took a different name this time around, but I had amassed some wealth after the war, and I just donated it all to the academy, tried to find a way back home. But since then, this spell has not worked.
So is it like because the ley lines are cracked?
Hmm.
The teleportation is
It's
cracked?
very smart. That's a good theory. No, it's something to do with this world. It exists. Let's see.
Well, I mean, your spell there kind of looked like the Kutala thing, right?
I don't.
Did it?
The Katala thing. I'm sorry.
Did it kind of look like that?
Yeah, it definitely did.
The jungles north, we found something where we've been, sort of.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of stumbled into a portal on accident.
Oh, where did it take you?
Place called
Kosoba.
Kosoba.
Hmm.
You heard of it?
I remember hearing about Kosoba some time ago.
How long?
It's been a few hundred years. Give me just a moment, guys. You're welcome.
Chillins.
Chillins. Yep.
No, big news.
Daddy, question. Not a good time.
It's okay. They just want to know about the World War II.
I know.
I do. It's been some time. I remember once, a long time ago, I observed a group of people, called the Almafea. And they traveled and had a history of a place called Kosoba. Never traveled there myself, but it seemed like an interesting place. And they had, and this was some time ago, at least 300 years by your timeline. And I was here briefly, just collecting information. And you see, even where I'm from, I'm a student of the stars. I want to know how others interpret the star signs and to see how others interpret their births, the sigils of magic that they use, and how their relationship with the stars is.
So, do you know about a dark star?
No,
Do you know anything about a place called Eterna?
only in just whispered stories, really. Some far off place where all other races exist, and
Insight check. We're 10.
it seems truthful. Doesn't seem to be hiding anything.
Is there any astronomical things that could potentially be this purple star thing that you know of?
No, nothing that I've ever seen. I've seen whitish colored stars and red colored stars and yellow. I've seen a blue colored star once.
What about the Ebon Hand?
Never heard of him.
Insight check.
Just fucking hook this dude up to a lie detector.
Yep.
Zone of truth if I had it.
Yeah.
29.
29. Never heard of him. Seems to be completely honest. Most of my time I spent here, and then there was I found a nice spot in the Tiverborg Mountains that had a couple high peaks, that were very good for observing the stars. But as soon as the war hit, I was in hiding for some time. I happened to be at our home away from home, as I would put it.
Which is?
What's that?
We have a settlement here too, that some of us live here. Some people like it so much, and as soon as we became trapped here, most of our people flocked to that place to stay in hiding. Some that couldn't took their human forms and stayed in it.
Why adopt a new form? Why not just be who you were? Why
you-
the secrecy?
Do you see many people like this?
No, but that's because you all hide in
Yes.
human disguises.
Well, because, one of your, I say you people as in the inhabitants of this planet, one of you went crazy and tried to blow up the goddamn sky and broke it into a bunch of pieces.
remember.
Which kept us from going home. And it was a little terrifying that if he was that mad at the elves, what would he do to a bunch of fox people? The Fae creatures that traveled here have been quite nervous about being seen for some time.
You're Fae?
No, but I know many Fey people. We you know, grew up in the same on the same street, but didn't go to the same schools, as it were. I guess we were neighbors. We knew each other. It's really hard to explain.
Could you like draw a map?
You don't need an insight check. His facial expression changes. No, I'd rather not.
Because you can't, or because you don't want to?
I have to go to another campaign's notebook. Excuse me.
Oh.
I need a name, and I need to make sure it's right. This is going back to October of last year. Yeah. We had a traveler for some time. It was a gentleman by the name of Melchior Kabi. You may roll a history check if you're trained in Arcana.
If you're trained in Arcana?
Yep.
Okay, so history check still.
History check if you're trained in Arcana.
If you're trained in Arcana. I am trained in
16.
Arcana, and I am rolling a history check. It's 14 plus 8 is 22,
22, yeah.
right? Yeah, 22. I can't do math.
16, you may have read the name Melchior Kabi at one point. So for Jaeger and Botran, a 16. Actually, Botran, I'll give it to you at advantage because you spent 30 years in the library.
So I'd just
11.
roll again.
Roll it again. And an 11.
I was gonna say I've read a lot of crap.
You did not have
But not a
access to
lot of crap.
Dornham's library for 30 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So everybody else, Melchior Kabi, if you had a 16, you may have passed by the name once and like it rings a bell. It's like, oh, that guy was a wizard. I remember reading about him. What was your total there, Soren?
22.
Neat. Of course. There's always one.
Sorry.
The character of high rolls.
Melchior was
the two
a
things I'm good at.
Melchior was a very interesting individual because I would say at one point someone traded you or had you rebind, or no, sorry, we had your wife
like
Saviel
the book binding. Okay.
rebind a book that generally she doesn't read through them. She's focused on the craft, having to rebind it. But someone was reinforcing and stabilizing a ancient book that she thought was interesting to you because it was dealing with chronomancy, and you had heard the name Melchior Kabi before. And then she had this book that you couldn't keep because it was a rush job and you had like a night with it. And this book felt hundreds of years old.
And it was his book, or he was mentioned in the book?
It was his book, and it was a study of chronomancy. And he talked in that book about spending time in other planes of existence, and he was working on a planar model. And he had some rough sketches of how the mechanism would work to display this, but he didn't actually have a planar map in there. At the time, reading it, something hundreds of years old, talking about time magic and other planes of existence that was completely foreign to you, sounded like fairy tales. And like eventually I think Soren may have put it out of his mind as there's no way this could have been real. I just need to move on. Otherwise you would have been obsessed with too many things at once between the blade singing and everything else. And yeah, it would have been too much for you. But here, this person brings up this name Melchior Kabi. He worked on a planar model at one time, as far as I knew, and it cost him everything, as far as I know.
But I thought you said you just came from up there. That one.
That one, yes. No, Melchior's from here. He was from Cyorion.
Yeah, but what do planes have to do with being at a star?
No, this was about your map of the stars and like going to different places, right? And
Yeah.
he was trying to do that, and
What, and he missed?
I don't know. He went to some place that was terrible, and it,
Well, do you not know, or is it someplace terrible?
as far as I've heard, I don't know the particulars, but it was someplace terrible. Since nobody asked for one and nobody can ask for one now, Jaeger, that guy's like really trying to cover something up now. He's clearly tongue-tied on his words and doesn't know what the fuck to say.
But like, I still don't understand why we're talking about planes if you came from a place that I can point at.
It's a whole lot
Like
of different things at once, but Melchior was interested in different planes of existence and did some traveling, and as far as I know, he died for it.
And what are you interested
why did you
in?
Wait, what?
Why did you talk over her? She was asking you a question. You just try to cover it up with a really vague explanation. I really don't like how you spoke over her like that.
Melara steps in at this point. Listen, please. This is a very studied and honored member of our society, and we've all been through a lot. He wasn't trying to be rude. You just understand. You have a very important individual, and he's being asked a lot of questions by a lot of people, all at the same time.
Yes, but he's not actually answering anything. He is covering them up with vagaries. This is no help to anyone.
What do you hope to gain from knowledge of where he's from? I'm sorry, weren't we looking for a way to stop the person that did this to us?
Yes. But it seems like
Everything's
you're
connected.
insinuating that other planes are out in space.
I'm sure you've heard of the possibilities of other planes of existence. Is it not too difficult to surmise that maybe they do exist, and something during the War of the Faceless with the shattering caused this inability for us to travel? I've read texts personally that the elves were on the brink of teleportation magic and were able to move great distances in the Waste Manor Forest, and it's not difficult to think that if there was something beyond our planet, we could have reached that, but Baraz made sure that we lost all of that knowledge.
This is going to be a bit of an odd question, but do you suppose he had a reason for why?
Why Baraz did that?
Yes, I mean, you seem to have, based on your word choices, it seems as though you think he might have done what he did because they were so close.
He was quite a hateful individual, but it was seated in truth. He blamed elves. And this is not to downplay the countless lives that were lost, but elves did tend to tinker with things that were beyond the capabilities of mortals. They created phenomancy, which has been proven time and again to be a terrible bastardization of magic, and he believed that he was granted the power he was for vengeance against what the elves had done to all of us. And it's rumored that he received that power through either the offspring of or a slain draconic aspect in the arid expanse. As you know, these are the rumors, but we have no proof. The Aethermere was destroyed and Baraz was defeated, but the sundering of the sky came with that. He controlled great and powerful magics, and maybe he destroyed that source of knowledge so none could stand against him, or maybe he destroyed it so you could keep elves from doing more terrible things.
Is the
Elves doing terrible things.
Nose goes. Got a lot of questions, I know. So nose goes. Maddie, what was your question?
Elves doing bad things.
Out of character, it's decently common knowledge that half orcs are a result of elven magical experimentation, and some of the other half races started or got their start through magical experimentation. What's not common knowledge is that what you guys know is that phenomancy caused that, the magical manipulation of DNA. It's been debated, but that's why, like, as you guys know now, that's why phenomancy's been buried and nobody studies it, and it's a banned magic, basically because the elves stumbled onto something and unleashed potentially dangerous magic on the world that, left unchecked, was terrible. the reason they did it was, to end a terrible curse that befell a large group of orcs that were doing some horrible things, but doesn't excuse the fact that it was, it was still a terrible magic. So elves doing bad things is not necessarily slander. Everybody's made mistakes. It's not a specific elf, but Buraz took it to a level of hatred against a species which was widely accepted to be uncalled for, and can't think of the right word for it.
Clears it up.
What's that?
Bad.
That
very,
clears it
very
up.
bad. Yeah, very, very, very bad. Like Buraz just made it horrible. He turned it into a war that was unjust and unjustly persecuted many innocents. So elves were known to have made some mistakes. I'd say they're all human, but they're all elves after all. Patron, you had a question
Elves
too.
are people too.
Yes, I was just going to see if I could determine whether or not the fox-like person is shielded or protected by any kind of magic. So if I tried to cast Detect Thoughts on him, if I would be able to discern anything. But I'm not going to cast it if he's protected in any way.
This is an incredibly powerful wizard. Just even without rolling an Arcana check or anything like that, his robes alone, to the untrained eye, are covered in astronomical and astrological symbols. It looks very finely woven and pretty, and shows off all the different stars in the sky and all the different constellations.
It would be like trying to read Brundoinen's mind.
Yeah, looking at his robe, and your knowledge of the arcane, he has magic inlaid on these robes that are protecting him. He doesn't have to cast anything. He's wearing very magical stuff. Like, this guy's hid the fact that he's a kitsune for 100 years in the city here, being a very wizened old teacher.
So then, I guess whatever your intentions are, getting home seems like a priority to you, whether you're telling us the truth or not, and that's to be determined.
I think that's the priority for... This is going to sound strange to say, but there are literally thousands of us that walk amongst you, of different species from different places, that would like to get home.
Or do they all just look like humans?
Some don't. Have you ever met a Genasi?
No.
You've heard of them, though, yes? Those that are said to be
Have I?
bred with the... Sure, Genasi are...
Wait,
Genasi are fairly... Serene is half water
yeah.
Genasi.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I
Yeah.
forgot.
You guys-
Mhm.
So, there's, water Genasi exist here for a reason. Some of them are a little, I don't want to say easy, but they like to do things. But there is a group of Genasi known as the Firstborn, that are Genasi
Freshborn?
Firstborn.
Gotcha.
There are Genasi that are the union of species on Cyorion and genies. That's true. But the Genasi were first made in their home place. I'm not sure exactly where they come from, but where they're from, there's a group called the Firstborns that are pure Genasis. They were created.
By whom?
Some god, I'm sure.
You're very dismissive about all this. You know that.
Yes, you must understand. It's much like trying to explain complex astronomical movements to a 5-year-old. I'm trying to explain millennia of knowledge to, no offense, you people.
Pretend for a brief moment that we're not 5. I'm not saying we're anywhere near what you've been through in your studies, but
Okay, then the Firstborn were likely made by a god of their respective planes. If it was a fire Genasi, it was likely a god of fire.
So what you think you're explaining is that different species are coming from different planes of existence to this place, like some kind of cultural hub or something?
I'm not sure how much you'd like to hear it this way, but Cyorion was a bit of a zoo.
Imagine it still is.
No,
Alright.
no, because we can't go home anymore.
Well, that's
Still makes
kind of the
it
whole
so-
purpose of a zoo. Now you're locked here
No, no.
in the
But
zoo.
who's the zoo for?
Well, I don't know all of the details. What I remember is that there was a great upheaval. The world was destroyed. Divine
Can you
beings.
check that? I don't
Sure,
remember all the details bit because he just said he's hundreds of years old
sure.
and has been here multiple times.
The natural 20.
Natural 20. Yeah, buddy. Get those answers, whether he likes to give them or not.
For a total of 30.
So with the
Oh,
total of
nice.
30, he'll see the word look. Let me rephrase. While I may be very old, my understanding is that eons ago, a great upheaval happened and this world was destroyed. And, it was, for my ancestors, it was a very sad time because this was a place of pride for many of the gods and their descendants and what have you and what not, from where we're from. And then after this great conflict, this world was reborn. And after a while, it began to flourish. So we started to come here and see how you all were doing and how you were progressing. And we would come and observe, and anthropological findings were quite interesting. We could see how societies developed. Time worked a little differently, so we could come back and forth over decades if we wanted to and barely age a day.
You're insinuating that our world is post-collapse and exists somewhere outside of the normal flow of time from where you're from.
Well, I think it's just because we're from, things move a little slower. I'm not sure how that part works. He seems really puzzled by this. Without an insight check, even he doesn't seem to grasp this part of it. There seemed to be something that, when Cyorion existed in this interesting cycle that they called it. I never really got into all the druid hokiness and that whole thing.
Cycle
Was,
of what?
some cycle of life and death, as far as I know. But I used it to study how people interpreted the stars. I'm a scholar of the stars.
Oh.
But
Has the cycle of life and death been affected by this cosmic event that happened 50 years ago?
I don't know, unfortunately. I'm not a student of that. I have heard readings that there are druids in Cyorion that are druids of the cycle. Interesting folks who guard the secrets of life and death and insist that all things must die so that all things may be reborn, and it's all interesting, but I don't study any of that. It's beyond my understanding.
I feel like we're getting very off topic here. You called us here because we knew something about the anchors.
Yes.
Before you revealed yourself and we had this whole tangent, you said this was your key to getting home.
Yes, there's something.
Why?
I'm not sure exactly how it works together. But he'll pull basically a magical shade of observatory. Then those of you that are trained in Arcana see that it's got some enchantment on it that enhances visible spectrums. And as soon as he pulls it, you all see Soren, especially since you were alive just after the occurrence and had looked up into the sky a few times during that. Botrin as well, you were around during that time. You see when he does this, the cracks in the night sky become as visible as they were within that first 5 to 10 years after the shattering happened. And there's this faint kind of mist that floats along the atmosphere of the world. You see, there's something there that we never saw before. We would travel through it, and it wasn't ever an issue. We would open our portal here, and we would come here. But now those cracks, as your friend surmised, I believe that they cause an interference. But what I've noted recently is this, and he pulls both hands and zooms in. There's a zoom in feature on the glass. He kind of zooms a little bit, and you see he like focuses more towards the moons. I have reason to believe that there are texts that refer to the anchors of the world. And if you look here, and he points it out, you can see the shimmer of the atmosphere passes through the moons. There's these two moons that basically flank where the sun is directly above Cyorion, where it exists during the daytime. These two moons flank on either side of it, and you can see this mist kind of reaching up and touching the two moons.
Yeah, that drawing I did forever ago.
Yeah. I think that those... My understanding is that if something was referring to the anchors, that those two moons are vitally important to keeping us anchored here.
Where's here?
On this planet, on Cyorion, as far as I understand.
Then
So we
those
blow up the
anchors-
moons and then we can move. Sounds like a plan.
It's probably a very bad thing if you want to keep breathing. As far as there are things like atmospheres that keep the breathable air here. As far as we
Atmosphere?
that shimmery thing that we believe it's an atmosphere. It's how clouds stay in the sky and how everything kind of stays on the planet. I think if you destroy those, then you destroy whatever's holding everything together.
I thought we were just on a flat thing, like on the turtle's back.
What? Where did you grow up where you read stories of turtles' backs that we all walk on? Great beast walks through the cosmos with a whole planet.
Just from Katia, it makes sense. They live on giant beasts.
That's a very literal adaptation, I guess, but okay.
I have a question, and this is going to be very odd, but entertain me one academic to another. Do you have a mirror? Small, preferably.
Sure. And he snaps his fingers and grabs a mirror.
Take it. I'm gonna take out one of my guitars. I'm gonna punch it directly in the center so that it cracks.
Okay.
Turn it back to him. What do you see?
Broken mirror, shattered glass lines. Yes, exactly. When the Aether Mirror was destroyed, the burst of energy from the Isling Grey Peaks was described as a brilliant beam of blue light. It shot out from the world, and the cracks all emanated from it.
If you came here when the mirror was intact, there was no scattering, there was no fracture.
Correct.
What do you see now?
Exactly what we saw at the portal. Precisely what I surmised. I think that channeling some sort of energy through the anchors, whatever's beyond beyond that, and managing to get energy to reach back out to that place out there through the anchors could seal this problem.
What
Talking
was
about
it?
sealing the cracks?
Mend the cracks.
Could we
What
just
was
mend
it?
the Aether?
Here, or nose goes. Sorry, that's going to be on Sarah Maximil.
So I'm not really sure I understand why we need to shoot a huge beam of energy up, and why we couldn't just fix the Aether Mirror.
Oh, do you know where any pieces of the Aether Mirror are?
Sorry?
Do you know where any pieces of the Aether Mirror are?
I mean, I don't, but I was hoping that someone as esteemed and as, clearly very intelligent like you would.
Oh, flattery will get you nowhere, but...
That wasn't flattery, that was just facts.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I have heard that there are individuals seeking pieces of the Aether Mirror, some for personal gain, others for a more noble pursuit, but all rumor and speculation at this point. So I'm looking for alternative ideas until something more tangible comes to light.
Okay, and we're like gonna. How do you plan to like focus a beam of pure magical energy through there?
I don't really know, but I hoped that maybe the Midnight Parliament and all their dealings has heard about these anchors before and may be able to help me come to a decision on what to do next.
And Mana's
Oh,
interested in the anchors.
And
Oh, well,
Malara
it's a
just kind of like
Jaeger.
nods at that statement, like, yep.
So do you think that she knows how to shoot huge beam of energy through it?
What was it that she sent? I was led to believe that you all were away on some other mission under the city, and that maybe she has more information now than we do.
I mean, there's information under the city about something.
Well, there was.
Eh, some boulder movers, and we could get back down there.
Well, I would think that I'm no tactician, but if I wanted to distract somebody so I could get the important thing, I would cause a very big distraction and send in a few people to get the important thing.
Yes, we saw
Yeah.
one of them.
They got it.
The Duke probably has it and is halfway across Katala by now.
Well, if that's the case, then you must make haste to catch this individual and find out what it is that was so important for this Imana. Isadora.
So, how exactly did Baraz shatter the Aether Mirror?
The stories go, this is stuff that your characters definitely know. The stories go that a band of adventurers that were once faceless troops. Baraz was known for laying siege to cities and armies, and then when they surrendered, he would utilize the Aether Mirror and his power to bring them all into his service. And he would literally take husbands, brothers, fathers, and soldiers and turn them right back around and march them onto the cities that they just came from. And they would do so with just great vengeance and zeal, not knowing who they were cutting down. And a group of wizards managed to break the curse of Baraz on a small group of these adventurers, but they died in the process. There was nothing left of them. And these individuals then rose up, found out who they were, found that they could bypass some of Baraz's defenses, and actually led an assault back against Baraz. And it's rumored that they shattered the Aether Mirror in the battle against Baraz and destroyed his source of power and then killed him. He is most definitely dead. His head and body were displayed proudly for the world to see, because this was a tyrant for decades. And
Where did the
rumored-
adventurers go?
he was centered in the Island Grey Peaks. The adventurers scattered to the winds afterwards and tried to make reparations for their lives. Anybody who was under Baraz's control as soon as the Aether Mirror was shattered regained the full memories of what they did and who they were beforehand. Many of them, trigger warning, content warning, many of them committed suicide. Some could not return home. There's colonies out in Glastawa Depths. There's an island called the Isle of Makaran that holds an entire battalion of soldiers who are just waiting to die because they couldn't bear to go on, but they couldn't bear to kill themselves. So they just set up camp in an isolated island to wait out their days. Just very few good stories came of it, but those that survived the war, most were driven mad by what they did.
Understandably.
So the heroes, as far as we're aware, of the original 5 that woke up, 4 survived, and they've since been out doing their own thing. What Maddie doesn't know is this group met one of them in the Katala jungle very early on in the campaign.
Gotcha.
And
And
ranger check.
That's an
those
X Ranger.
wizards that were behind assisting that party to get into, behind Baraz's defenses and counterattack and eventually shatter the mirror. Do any of them have correlation with the schools of magic or, educators or wizards that exist within the High Elf Society that went into hiding?
No.
Okay.
The wizards that little's known about them, speculation and rumors mostly. A lot of people think they're heroes. There are whispers that they were dastardly, horrible people that put a few folks of magical prowess through some very terrible things to channel the energy necessary to break that curse. Some people's lives changed drastically because of those incidents. So that's all out of character stuff that Isidore just kind of knows. So always happy to clarify that. If I was to venture a guess, though, Midnight Parliament, if this individual absconded with the data that we need, your top priority is to find out what Imana intends to do with the anchors, and if that book has any information as to what we can do to save it and possibly fix this conundrum. Or if you happen to know of...
Point us in the right direction. We have no notes on where to go.
And if you didn't realize, they brought an army.
They did.
And we're just a few individuals that can potentially maybe live up to that.
Quick out of character. Shatha brought you guys up here, right? It was either Shatha or Mateo, I think, set up this meeting.
No, it was
Or is it Elric Baron?
The lady that Isadora got
was,
snapped at.
Malara.
Malara.
And Malara brought us up to him.
Yeah, Malara.
She's the one that told us we needed to talk.
Oh,
Cool.
the first person that put us in touch with him though was Mateo. Yes,
Yeah.
he was the one that showed up at our place.
Mm-hmm.
So Mateo would still be kind of hanging out in the wings up here. Maximil. You're muted.
You're muted.
Do you know anything
Everybody.
about Yurig?
No, but quite fascinating creatures. I had the pleasure of meeting one, a fellow by the name of Diggin, who spent some time here at the academy. He was quite an interesting individual. He apparently spent some time on this Dragahode Island. Had been raised by a group of halflings,
Yes,
and
we
know.
know.
He was with
We
us for
we
a while.
we know his backstory. Yes.
Oh, are you friends of
traveled with
Diggins
him.
then?
And we
We
fought
were.
him outside of the city.
You fought Diggin. He was a
No,
peaceful fellow.
he was not digging at that point.
He was corrupted.
There was something else that lived inside of him, something else that shared his body, his mind, something
Oh, that's
That works for Imana.
malicious.
A bastard entity called Galaxilin.
That's quite horrible. I apologize. I did not mean to open fresh wounds. Aside from him, I had met one other before. He was brought here for study about 40 years ago, one of the first that were discovered. But he went wild and killed 2 people before they put him down. I've heard rumors.
Zero.
No. I've heard of Zero though. Zero's over in Ashahoy in the Ethereal Desert. He, quite an interesting individual, non-lethal force. Recently, I've heard rumors of an individual named Francis who went by Francis, who's helping people out in southern Lamindor in Gortelen. I keep my ear out for the Yurik. They're quite interesting individuals.
They're also the one that stole the book.
Yeah.
Well,
Sort
that's
of.
unfortunate.
I think possibly necromancer or something of that variety. It resurrected and killed a massive amount of people with very little effort when we first saw it.
Max reaches into her bag of holding and pulls out Diggin's head and says, "Sorry, this is a bit gory. Do you think you could access his memories?
Immediately?
That way we would..."
No, but with time, yes.
We don't really need to keep the head with us, if I'm being honest.
Well, I obviously I have means of contacting you, and I could take a look for some time.
It's likely the only lead we have right now.
Well,
we need to know where they are.
I
We need to
I
know
think I can help
how to
out
find them.
with that. And Mateo comes like trooping up the back stairs.
Oh?
Yeah. For a port for, I don't know, who's in charge with you guys?
Soren.
Soren? Okay. Soren, he hands you
I-
this
I
file.
don't-
It's Soren, yeah. Soren, you're kind of the leader.
You all
I
had
want to be the leader.
you all had worked with a lady by the name of Shautha before, out of the Hammers of Midatona, an outfit out there of mercenaries. What many don't know is that Fort Rawing and Midatona, as you're aware, fell victim to these people. As soon as Shautha returned, she sent scouting troops out to see if there was a base of operations. There's a map in here that's got handwritten notes. And there's observations along the coast and up through central Kutala and then following west. They found in there 5 or 6 different gathering points
That the enemy had?
that the enemy had throughout the Kutala jungle, that they were utilizing fortifications that they had cleared. One of them being Bayenta, the city of the Almafea, Fort Rawing, Midatona, and then 3 other cities on the western coast of Kutala. But then there's a trail on each of them, and they apparently picked up a couple Almafea scouts along the way, and there's notes in here as you're flipping through it. They ended up tracking all of these undead back to a single point of entry on the western coast of Kutala. And they claimed that they were emerging from the sea.
Fuck.
At one point, they hired somebody, a touched individual who said he had debts to pay. And Max, you gotta help me out from fucking episode 1. What was your boy's name?
Rodman?
Rodnan.
Oh, yeah.
Rodnan got a ship together and headed out west. And
Wait, helping the enemy or helping the scouts?
helping the scouts.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
he
it's
does
like,
have
we're
a
about to kill your
dedicated
boy.
Your boy is not your boy.
Rodnan went
Make sure he
west.
stays dead.
Okay.
No!
He
He's already
seen that movie.
died twice!
Soren goes west.
he
goes west.
He sailed pretty far west, and the last note in there is handwritten, or is contact received on this date. Information given to Mateo, and as Mateo sees you get to it, he goes, Rodnan reported in about 4 days ago. They observed the undead diving into the sea off of the coast of Holderima to the west. They're crossing from somewhere beyond the Great Ice Shelf.
Well, looks like we're gonna need winter wear.
There's very little contact with anything out there. We know frost giants, occasionally storm giants can be seen out there. The Goliath
Hostile, friendly?
depends on the day and how you look, I guess. The Markradons are fearsome beasts that come from Holderima.
Fuck. Sorry.
The Goliaths of Galea venture north from their peaks to Holderima in the north quite often to hunt Markradon. They're
Casually for sport?
they're said to be descendants of giants. The Goliaths are quite fearsome people. But
The Goliath we knew, she would hunt one of those for fun.
She
Yeah.
would hunt God for sport.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be honest. I don't feel ready to go and tangle with frost giants and those big fuckers with the mandibles. I hate it.
If the enemy is making his way that direction,
We
I know
have-
we
It
have
doesn't
to.
matter.
Don't feel ready. I want. This is my
Melora kind
ham-fisted
of
way of asking if we can have some sort
yeah.
of
Melora
aid in
speaks
this
up.
endeavor.
You have the entire support, the academy behind you. As far as the government of Busat's concerned, you're the most ready and capable heroes that we have to send on a mission like this.
Really?
That does not bode. I mean, yes, we are going to be fine.
We're going to need supplies, that is sure.
A lot of supplies. I
We're
doubt
the
there's
best
food
you
there.
can do.
You're quite talented, and most people thought you were dead for some time, and you've literally just fought off the most fearsome invasion we've ever seen.
We were not alone in that, but I take your meaning.
That being said, you will not be alone in this voyage either.
Really?
The Busat Protectorate has partnered with the Adventurers Guilds, and you have the complete support of Busat and the guilds. Chaltha will lead a mercenary troop that will escort you through the Katala jungle. Rodnan will be returning in his vessel, and will meet you at the coast of Katala on the western shore. And from there, you will launch to Holderima.
Oh gods! All right.
If you're willing to accept it, we have few others in the world that we think could deal with this sort of scouting mission. As again, scouting mission. Subtlety is a key here. If you can avoid the frost giants and the Markerdon especially, just pick up the trail if you can, find out what base is to the west on Holderima, and find out what is waiting for us, and so we can prepare a counterattack.
We're effectively diplomats that are scouting. Got it.
That's
Not
the best I can say.
assassins.
Yes. You'll have plenty of support with you. Mateo's promised that the guild and Shatha have everything that they need to assist you. We will send one additional vessel to meet you on the western seaboard of Katala, because we will need one additional to carry, the mercenary troop as well as your party with Rodnan's vessel. So we will send 2 vessels from Katala west to Holderima and go from there. And we hope that this stays quiet here, because, as we all found out very dramatically yesterday, there's few that we can trust in the city of Busat. Even
We also, yes, we also know someone who, the unseen Captain Arle Garside.
the unseen.
Yeah, and I think that the captain of the Sea Demon, who goes by the name of the Unseen, may be helpful for a stealth mission.
It's
Maybe.
quite possible.
Some sort of smuggler. I can probably just send to them now if you want.
Because
Sure, if
they
you would
said that-
like to contact them. What
Just
day is it
for
in this
extra
campaign?
help. I just remembered that we had a friend.
Yep.
It might also behoove us to contact our friend with the special shop.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't
that
really
is
have-
definitely something to be done tonight.
We don't have more money.
No, we don't.
Yeah, not to be that guy, but you said you're
Hey, Captain.
supporting us. Yeah.
Did you go ahead and send to Captain Garside at this point?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm literally checking campaign dates, so give me a second.
It was
this
last time we
was-
met them.
No.
It was around
no,
the
no.
Doth fight.
No.
Session 12.
Some
January
some
1st?
some
Or, no,
party
January 17th.
some party decided not to do shit with her, and so I wanted her to go be involved somewhere, so she got involved in another campaign. So I just need my notes.
So he needs to see where the unseen is at this point in time.
I had to.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Anyways, what was the? I heard a couple other questions as I was looking at dates. That's what I get for running all these campaigns in tandem. Like, this is just too much fun for me. We need this person's help.
They're
a little busy.
We were inquiring at the academy for goods.
A line of credit.
Absolutely. Your winter wear, your rations are all taken care of.
No,
we will-
more specifically, your arsenal.
Besides your weapons and gear, I'm not sure what else we could provide you.
Magic.
Sneaking missions require certain things that can be procured magically.
We do have a contact. We just lack the means by which to procure the magical items.
We could produce some scrolls that may be able to help you. This particular spell, Pass Without Trace. We could apply that to a few scrolls for you. We would happily provide you with potions to help steel your bodies against the cold, potions of healing, things like that. And then,
What about bags that hold a lot?
I believe there's a couple bags of holdings still in our supplies. We could.
I could use one of those.
We could part with one. Yes, absolutely.
He needs his own.
And then,
I need something to put all the stuff I have. Not very strong. I'm running out of weight.
We have a bag.
I don't want to use the bag. I want to use my own bag.
Wow.
Well, it's no offense to your bag, but
You know how he is. He's paranoid.
oh,
Also, I don't know if we're ruling it differently, but none of us can cast Path Without Trace.
this would be from the academy in a manner of just
Okay.
like they'll make it work for you.
Cool.
I always misuse magical device. Like just here's a wand that does it, and then fake it till you make it.
mhm.
Yeah.
Looking forward to
So-
Pathfinder.
What about things to help out the casters in the group? Something that's like magical, but a boost to magic. I mean, this is a magic academy. I would think that if you have super cool artifacts that can help magic casters, it would behoove y'all to send a couple our way.
Or magical enhancers for non-magic folk.
We have access to less than legal substances that some of our people need to use when we're performing great magics, but we don't find out sorcerer's muse on a whim. That stuff's very addictive.
Do you want some? I've been carrying some around from my neighbor. He gave it to me, and I genuinely don't want it.
It's quite dangerous.
I really.
I mean, I'll take it because I'm always down for weird potions, but like, I mean,
It's
like
not a potion.
artifacts,
Okay.
This is literally wizard drug.
drugs. Yes,
Yeah.
she's
It's
calling drugs a
wizard-
weird potion.
Wizard
Oh
nose
god, any
candy.
friend?
Wizard nose candy. It's powdered.
Can I?
Max
give
has always
that
been
to her?
slightly
Oh, we don't
southern
have that.
monster effects.
I've always
have
been
a-
southern.
If you're having a hard time passing it, I think the past other players thing got messed up, so I will. grab
Yeah,
it
I
for it.
got kicked off, but I have Sorcerer's Muse magic drugs in my inventory under consumables, so you can just drag that there.
Oh, it's just magic.
I don't want to do magic cocaine.
I like it.
But I meant like a wand or a staff.
Or like
Very
an
large,
amulet that would
Heavy
boost you.
book.
Or like, belts or
crown.
boots or anything that could help us who are not magically inclined.
A new
Exactly.
jacket. My jacket's gotten ripped.
Something
We
to
can-
make my muscles bigger. Like I
Listen,
can
Or a
lift
scabbard
more
for my really
things.
cool new knife.
Yeah.
There's a reason that academies exist. It's to train adventurers to go out and find incredibly powerful magical artifacts. And usually when they start doing that, they're in business for themselves, so they sell them to the highest bidder. They don't generally donate them to the school that they came from. However,
That's a goddamn disgrace.
we do have a few things, and I will happily go to my personal supply to see what I have available.
Much appreciated.
Shopping!
More like stealing.
More like,
Yeah.
more like
Fakey.
stealing.
Borrowing.
More like
Donations.
borrowing without intent to return.
Yeah.
I
I understand the severity of this mission and will happily lend you whatever we have. Unfortunately, the resources that we have available is really what we have. So I will get you. I can get you magical scrolls, and I can specifically get you some potions that I know will help you resist the cold weather. And we have cold weather traveling gear. We had an expeditionary crew that had planned to make a trip to Holderima, and we have cloaks that are enchanted to help stave off the cold and the extreme weather of Holderima. So those those will most definitely be bequeathed to you and the individuals that will be accompanying you to the Frost Rime. But
I also have a resource. Who was it? Like, out of character, real quick. Who was it that we spoke to at last session that I got yelled at? What was her name?
The
Was it
Malara?
Melora?
It was Malara.
Malara chewed you out for being sassy?
Malara.
Malara's this lady in front
Yeah.
of you right now. She works for the Aster Kieran. She's a professor, basically.
Yeah.
But
So-
Serene
Yeah.
was there too. Serene, like, you may have talked to her at one point.
Also,
So-
isn't Kiyoki here?
Yeah,
was somewhere in
Kyoki
the
like
city?
was
I don't
hanging
know if
out
she's
with.
here
I think
too.
she came up here too because she had some stuff about the anchors and was just kind of like hanging out. She's been here just casually observing and like confirming most of the stuff. Like, yeah, this fits with our astrophysical ideology or metaphysical ideology, I guess.
Well, all right. So I had some disagreements and a bit of a falling out with my previous workplace, and that doesn't go without saying that I still have some sway if I were to reach out to a contact of mine. They could
What would
help
they be
us.
providing?
We'd have to ask.
And you think they can get to Busat that quickly from the desert?
They might still be in Busat. Or at least the ones that are still talking to me. The ones I'm not talking to anymore are definitely no longer here.
Well, if you have a name, I can reach out. I still have one for the day.
No, it'd have to be me.
Oh. All right.
Problem is, I have trouble contacting them. And it would seem our new friend here, Malara, knows a little bit about it and could be potentially useful. If you'd like to help us.
Well, I mean, if you want to throw yourselves in with brigands and ne'er-do-wells, you could, of course, begin to work with the association, but...
No, not the association,
association
as we
are
know it
cool.
anymore. The association was cool. They're not cool anymore.
No, the
What?
association now is quite a terrible group of riffraff to work with, but...
Yeah, there was a change in... Let's just say they went under new management a couple years ago. And that was right around the time that I decided to make my peace and head elsewhere. But I
would
was
say
pretty far
that's-
up and would have enough power to call on people who maybe still believe in the old ways of how things used to work.
I would say that it's a possibility, but I wouldn't count on it. We can reach out to them if you like, and if they bite, I'll definitely bring whatever assistance they provide.
Don't reach out to them for help. Reach out to them telling them that Isadora is trying to contact them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, Katya did some trading in magic artifacts. Are there any any folks from Ashahoy, like any Ashahoyan traders nearby that you know of?
Just whoever came over recently on Najim Bin.
Right? Do you know where they are?
Probably down the Wharf District, be my best bet.
Right.
That's usually where they stay. We can try to reach out to them too. I would say that although that this is a great mission to take underway quickly, we would prepare a ship to meet you on the western coast, and you could leave by land and be there fairly quickly. The ship would meet you there, so we could reach out to these other contacts and try to bring supplies in and send them via the ship while you make your way across the land, just because we need to pursue quickly. And that means I need to pull up my map and actually double check this.
I think you said it was like 3 days walking from Busat up to Maidatona. Like in
The Maya Journey, yeah,
caravan or
but you're
something?
going to the western coast now, not the eastern
Right,
coast.
so probably, what, 5 days?
I need to pull it up and look. If I was a smart boy and saved my scene.
They have any like holy Avengers just kind of lying around, anything like that?
Yeah, those are just things we usually keep around here.
Big flaming sword off in the corner. Just okay.
I just need my belt of giant strength.
Yeah, there.
That's all I need.
Necklace of
that's all it does.
fireballs.
Even hill giant strength would be good enough.
So
we are
Green bigot.
you guys are
here.
Yeah, let me
There.
get everybody out of the map here. Hold on one second. 'Cause you guys are definitely not up here anymore.
You know.
My
We were
Daytona.
for the circle of the teleport. God, that was the last time we were on this map.
Yep. So you guys are here in Busat.
Yep.
On
And they're
this
talking
side.
about sending us like here.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's
more
that's
about
almost
like
double.
more about like
There's road.
here along the road.
Okay, got it.
There's a city at that lock. There's a lake there, and the city is built that straddles the lock there. So that would be your launch point west. And they reported on the map that the entry point that they found them at was, up here.
Okay.
So they were much further north. This is a much safer launch point, but they know they were coming from Old Arima to the west.
Right. So we're not launching from where they know they were launching or where the enemy is
Correct.
arriving from. They're launching from where it's safe to launch.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
And generally you can travel by road about 3 hexes per day.
So that's-
It's about 10 days. It's just under.
And then the ships
Sorry.
would be able to make that voyage in about half the time, just because they could travel 24/7. They could travel around the clock, so they would make their way across much quicker, and they would meet you there. But you guys could at least get a head start on it, and then they could report anything in. Plus, they don't know if there's a counterattack coming or what else is going to happen in the city, so they just want to get you guys on the road.
That would
Maybe like
be
19 days of
3
travel.
hexes a day. Sorry, I'm doing the math. The math ain't
Yeah,
mathin'.
I did too. It was 290 feet based on
Yep.
the path that he trajectoried. So divided by 5, that's 58, and we can do 3 a day. 19.
I'm pretty
Okay,
sure this is
okay.
right, so let me fix the actual distance. Hexes
Where
are
did the 5 come from?
12
Uh,
miles across. So by
about 5
road, you
feet.
get advanced travel speed. So
Gotcha.
that's if you want to travel right across by road. But this will be the
God,
first
I wish I
time
were
that
a paladin and I had a horse.
the first time that this group gets to deal with like the advanced travel system, which just moves us along quick. We're gonna literally skip about a week in a day's session here. I like little travel events, not big ones. So it's gonna be about 19 days of travel by road.
Yeah.
And then they'll make the sailing. They'll sail in about 10 days, and they can send you out today with supplies to get you there on the road, and at least be secure enough to prepare for a launch, which is Shatha and Mateo's preference, is to get you guys there, prepped, ready to go. Ship meets you a couple days later after you guys are secure in that town. Load everybody up and go, because then that gives them time on the ships to get all the supplies together for the larger voyage across the sea. But we can discuss all that when we come back. Let's take a quick break, everybody. So thanks for sticking with us for the first half, everyone. We're going to take about 10 minutes, and we'll all be back right after this. Thanks. Welcome back, everybody. So where we left off, Midnight Parliament was prepping for ideas on how the heck we're gonna get over around the continent of Katala to this city on the coast where they're gonna launch from. And you know, they were asking for some gear and some way or some things to like get them through this large quest, but you know, they had the academy and Busat was behind you guys. You know, they need to know who was behind this, and they need somebody to go chase them down. And since you're hired, you guys have got some support. You've got 2 vessels that are going to be taking you across, depending on how you want to do all this. And they've got some funding behind you guys. So preemptively, because you guys have already asked for it, each of you should have 2 potions of greater healing in your inventory from the city. As well as Soren, you should have 3 scrolls of Pass Without a Trace that are attuned to your party, and anybody that's a member of the Midnight Parliament can cast them.
Oh, wow.
That's hard.
Okay. That's cool.
I just preemptively put those in. You guys will get those over the next day or so, depending on how you guys want to do this. But Mateo says, well, if you'd like to follow, to head back to the guild headquarters in the ridge, it's mostly unharmed and there's not a lot of people there. We've cleared out most of the folks that have needed triage. We can set you up for the evening and meet with Shoutha and determine what we want to do. A bag of holding is brought back. Miss Melora had sent somebody to retrieve it because she knew that Jaeger was interested in it. She didn't have one available, but one of her assistants comes running up and she goes, I apologize, Midnight Parliament. I asked them for any artifacts that we had, and unfortunately I have the bag of holding that she requested. Jaeger, she hands this purple stitched bag of holding to you. I hope this is
Peer into it.
there's nothing in there. You know, a pair of eyes peer back at you. No.
Teeth.
The bag man.
The bag, man.
As everybody else is talking, Maximil, you feel a fuzzy paw kind of like touch you on the shoulder. Excuse me, madam.
Oh, hello.
I'm very sorry that the academy doesn't have much to assist you with, but I hope that this may be of some use to you. I've had this for quite some time and traveled with it. I picked it up on one of my travels, and it's been useful to me, but I think that you would enjoy utilizing it for a while.
Ooh, okay.
He hands you this small crackling crystal. It's got bits of lightning coming off the sides of it.
Yeah.
If you would like
Looks
to,
like we'll get along.
if you'd like to attune to it, you can spend an action to attach this shard to a tiny object like a weapon or a piece of jewelry, or you can spend an action to detach it. But attaching it considers you attuned to it, and this elemental essence shard of the element of air becomes attuned to you as a spell casting focus. And when you use a metamagic option on a spell that you're holding or wearing this shard, you get the air property, which allows you to fly immediately up to 60 feet without provoking opportunity attacks.
Yeah. Max is gonna attach that to, like, she has these golden, like, things on her horns, and she's gonna put it on one of them and just, like,
Dope.
attach it there.
Okay, so you now have this crackling little energy shard hanging off of there. It's in your inventory now. It's called the Elemental Essence Shard for air.
Yeah.
Did you
boy.
have any strength boosters for
I'm
me and Big Guy here?
I'm sorry. We looked.
She points at Doran.
We checked, but we've also sent word to the guild if they have any potions of strength or any artifacts that they could help you with, but we don't have anything here.
Is this Malara speaking?
Yes, Malar. Sorry, my voices all sound the
Okay.
same. I'm trying my best.
Mhm.
She's softer speaking. She has that slight British accent. I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
And Melora,
Warmed.
did you happen to reach out yet? Because I do have a name, if that would make it easier.
Yes, if you provide me the name, I can attempt to help you.
His name was Ermias.
Amias. And I'm assuming you sent that to me in Discord. Perfect.
Yes.
I have so much weight. I am free. Jaeger just puts his entire backpack in the bag of holding. Kind of jumps around. Oh, so much better.
Oh my gosh, you gotta go to a chiropractor and get your back straightened out after that kind of difference in weight.
I mean,
No, I think
No,
the
we
hunch
can't
Reverse your
right
adds a lot of
scoliosis.
I can.
It sort of adds to the mad scientist aesthetic. I like it.
I'll reach out to Amias for you, and I'll see if there's any assistance that they can. Well, I will tell them that Isadora requests their utmost urgency in assisting them for this mission.
He may be a little difficult to reach, but I suspect if he hears my name, he'll come calling. He might not identify with the association anymore, but he once was.
Oh, very good. All right. Well, they pull back the shutter and the zoom fixes and the lights kind of normalize as you all now see the cracks disappear from the sky. The atmosphere of whatever was the atmospheric blanket over Cyorion disappears from view as that last shutter of glass disappears. And you're all escorted out of the observatory and back down to the streets. Or back down towards the streets. To wit, as you exit the tower, you recognize one of Soren's kids, as they're now calling themselves.
Sons of Soren.
Sons of Soren, yeah, one of the sons of Soren. Mr. Soren, you've got a problem.
Hi. Wait. What? Why? What happened?
You hear that in the distance. You hear like a bunch of partying and cheering. It's like 2 a.m. because you guys slept during the day, came out here late to see the sun, the sky. From the north, there is a very loud crowd. It sounds almost like an angry mob.
oh,
What's going on?
Word got out that the Midnight Parliament's here. And you're being heralded as the heroes of Busat.
Why is that a problem?
Because if you go to the north, you may get mobbed. And
Why?
like looking over and hearing the roar, you can see a sea of 500 to 1,000 people crowded up past the northern quad area of the Luminary Academy.
Do they have like torches and pitchforks, or are they like cheering and celebrating?
It sounds like an angry mob from a distance, but as soon as you listen for a bit, there's music on the wind. There's dancing and cheering and a bunch of drunk people.
Do we want to be heralded as heroes by drunks? People of the city are grateful, apparently.
How are we responsible for what people do? I mean,
I don't know. It was more a question of do we want to avoid them?
I mean, listen, hero worship has never really been my MO, but
Oh my.
we could probably get at least a few drinks out of it.
and making having a relationship with lots of people in a positive light
Comes
could
in
be
handy.
useful. Like, if
Max,
people
why don't you
like
go
us.
give a speech up from the roof or something like that?
Oh, lordy, really? You want me to
I don't-
improv? I'm not good at
don't know.
improv.
Talk us up.
I'm better in 1v1 situations, so Soren, I think this is gonna fall on your shoulders.
You want me to deal with the crowd? Like,
No.
No.
Jaeger, no, Jaeger, no.
No.
Nope, nope.
No.
Going to
Okay.
instantly
Is he reaching
veto
for a
that.
bomb?
Backle and I could try.
I mean, I can see if I can talk to them
Give him
and
a
get them
lecture.
to
Listen,
disperse.
We
No,
we
not
do this as we
disperse.
do everything. We do it together.
Oh, right.
I like the roof idea. I don't want to go down and be touched by people.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Touch beneath
Mark
Marjorie
him, some
lays a
sort of-
hand on Jaeger's shoulder.
Ow.
Some sort of grand stand up from the rooftops. My
Oh, that's
people, my
right.
people, something like that. I don't know.
Is that still going on? Your-
Yeah,
your
he's still
pain of being touched?
Does everything
He's
still
still-
hurt?
He still has
It's
the
12
bone hurt.
hours.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
24 hours.
I didn't know about that. Sorry.
I don't know why I put in my notes Jaeger has the bone hurt TM.
Yeah.
Yeah, so every time you touch him, everything hurts.
Jaeger just cripples to the floor instantly.
Ah.
Ow!
Before we go deal with the crowd, I
That's fine.
pop in one of those gummies that I got from Soren's wife and just
Doran, huh? What?
Oh, don't worry.
I
about it.
I am.
What is that?
I'm fixing. It's fine. Everything is fine. I am Doran still, and I am now ready
You
to
sound
talk
like
to the
that.
people.
It's weird
like that.
every single time you do it. I don't know why you.
What did he do? What is happening?
Why are you
Changes your
doing
voice,
this to
makes
my
you sound like a
boy?
local.
I've
get
just
some of that-
altered my voice to sound like a native Busatan.
I want some of that magic powder. I need something to take this edge off, please.
Yeah.
Do you want some sorcerer's juice?
Yeah, we'll take that.
That's not
now?
powder. That's a
Why are we
liquid.
doing? Let's not do that now. We don't do that now.
I think that would be an extraordinarily dangerous idea, Jaeger.
I so wholly regret giving that to you.
Well, you didn't. Your wife did.
boy a megaphone.
Oh, no, not the gummy. The
Oh.
fucking magic drugs.
Oh, well, yeah, that's probably a bad idea.
It'll be fine. I'll only use it when I need to.
Right, like when we're going into a crowd. Fuck it. I just start walking.
You know what? If anybody needs to be propped on some shoulders, I got two right here.
All good. I don't need to see any higher.
All right. So you guys are heading to see the crowds.
We are going
To
to
the roof.
address our adoring public.
Thank
Alright.
you, random citizen.
You're doing it. You're
I
doing
am-
it from a roof.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess try and find like are there like outdoor stairs that lead up to roofs or anything like
Ladies
that?
and gentlemen, you know them. You love them.
There,
It's your midnight parliament.
there are some buildings on the northern side, but really, if you started walking that direction, you're pretty sure you're going to end up in the thick of the crowd.
Shit.
And as you're trying to find your way up there, you don't spot a way to address the crowds. He's kind of. What would you like to
Okay.
do? You gotta.
Y'all.
Eh.
I
Make us all fly.
can make us all fly.
I was just say I could just take my boots of flying and say, "Sorry, Jaeger, this might hurt for a second," and pick him up and put him on the roof. But
I can get
you
myself
can
to the
also
roof.
just grapple gun. That's true.
I can also I can use sorcery points to make y'all fly, and then use my stone to make me fly.
And in order
we-
to get the crowd's attention, I can cast Thunderclap, which would like, ba-boom, and there we were.
You know what?
Yes, let's. You know what?
Save-
I'm all for this. We need an
points.
entrance, and this is as good as entrance as any. Let's have a show.
To
Right.
save points, I'll just put you up here and hold on, and then we'll fly up together.
So I'll just fly you.
Yeah, and then
But then
And I
you're
can fly
down one
myself with
point.
my boots.
You're down. Yeah, and you're down 1 point.
So really only need to cast fly on Batran and Soren.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't touch me.
And Isadora.
No, you don't have to
Andy-
cast it on me. I'll
Jaeger's
just hold
not-
on. You know.
You
Jaeger's
can
gonna
fly,
get-
so you can
To me,
fly
he's
her.
gonna
I
giddy
don't know
up.
if I can
Yeah.
lift you up.
No. It'll be fine.
Ben just sitting there watching us.
I'm loving this. I have like a little speech
I'll
about
put you
the.
on my
I have like a
shoulders.
speech about the
Then
whole
I'll-
moment, and then you guys are just
I'll
like, "Hey,
hold
we're
on
gonna
to your
totally
legs
fly above
real
everything."
tight.
We are going to fly in. We're
I'm
gonna have
pretty
Batran's
sure-
thunderclap go off and just be like
Lightning bolts fucking everywhere.
dancing lights. Let's get some dancing lights
Yeah,
going.
I'll put up some dancing lights behind
I'm
us.
gonna send Astrid
Yeah.
to kind of do swoops through the crowd.
And now
I've got
it's
a
time.
major image.
You want me to shoot? I can shoot.
No.
That's
Shooting
dangerous.
is probably a bad idea.
Down.
Okay.
Where
Or-
bullets go up, they come back down.
But you know what? If they want to treat
Or-
us like rock stars, let's give ourselves a rock star entrance.
Yeah, why not?
Or we could be a little more chill. I was suggesting we fly just to get us up onto the roof.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to make. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a fine line between giving a show and thinking you're the shit.
No. We acknowledge
you
we are
are.
absolutely outgunned, but at least we can make them think that we're semi.
Yeah, it's not about
Competent.
Us, it's about giving. them
Allow me
hope.
to tell you a little
So-
bit about the psychology of crowds.
All right, let's do this then.
As the city of Busat emerged from that dark shadow of the harrowing siege, the streets pulsated with an electric energy that crackled in the air. The night sky served as the perfect backdrop, illuminated by a canopy of stars that mirrored the awe and admiration reflected in the eyes of the citizens of Busat below. A celebratory mob had gathered, their faces adorned with the expressions of reverence and relief as they eagerly awaited the arrival of their saviors, the Midnight Parliament. And with a sudden thunderclap that resonates through the city, the enigmatic figures descended from the heavens and came to the rooftop, your clothes billowing in the night breeze like wings of justice. Your arrival sends a
We've been lightning, aren't we?
Your arrival sends a ripple of excitement through the crowd. A collective gasp escapes their lips. As if in a perfectly choreographed ballet, you gracefully alighted the rooftop of the tallest nearby building, your silhouettes outlined against the moonlit sky. And from your lofty perch, the Midnight Parliament surveys the sea of adoring fans, their eyes shining with a mix of gratitude and determination. A hush falls over the crowd, an expectant silence that settles in the air as you prepare to address the multitudes below. The citizens of Busat looking up with unwavering admiration, their faces a tapestry of emotions from relief to hope, and their hearts filled with gratitude for the heroes who risked everything to safeguard their beloved city. In that moment, the union between the Midnight Parliament and the people of Busat becomes an unbreakable bond, an unspoken vow that echoed through the night. It was a testament to the indomitable spirits of the soul and a reminder that in the face of adversity, unity and heroism could prevail.
You got this, Max. She pats her thigh.
Max, the crowd expects your speech below.
You know.
Uh, good evening, Busat.
The crowd erupts with cheers.
Let me spin a tale for y'all, if you wouldn't mind. There was a brave group of people who, in times of trouble and distress, bound together and decided they wouldn't let each other be lonely in this time, and they would fight together for what they believed in. And this group is called the Citizens of Busat.
Immediately, cheers, drinks flowing, people are
Pander
holding
to the home
babies
crowd. Good
up,
call.
Babies.
screaming from beneath you in the city streets as you recognize the city of Busat for their sacrifices.
I cast Major Image behind us, which is just basically like an overhead view of the city so that people can see it.
And people start chanting, Busat, Busat. Soon, another crowd voice overcomes it. TMP, TMP. And they start cheering from the distance as the echoes of Busat bleed into TMP, and the people start chanting for their beloved heroes, the Midnight Parliament.
People, please.
I love you, Busat.
We are not all powerful. We are not all knowing. We are just simply citizens like yourselves who chose to stand and fight.
Some singular voice echoes from the silence as Doran's addressing, but you're all sexy!
Well, you can't argue that.
and immediately cheers, echoing the response to Doran's statement.
Uh,
I'll chime in after Doran and just. He's right, though. I mean, I'm from here. I grew up here. Spent my whole life here. I've walked amongst these streets. I know you people and you. I'll try and find someone in the crowd.
You
I
do.
know.
You spot a couple over there. Look at Soren! I've been to the arcadery. I've seen the books.
let's give a hand for the local boy.
Soren! Soren! And you can see that the boys are moving. The sons of Soren are moving to the crowd, like hyping people up, like Soren! And they're helping the crowd get excited.
We're just people just like you. Just people who decided to make a difference. You can too.
There's a bit of silence for a moment as they look around, and someone just goes, Soren! Soren!
I cede my
The
time.
people begin holding drinks aloft, begging you all to come down and join them in the revelry.
I will
You-
fly down and scoop up one of the drinks.
You spot Hazel of the Bees holding drunkenly onto Val as they're both like, yeah, come drink with us. The bees are clearly like holding onto her hair, like most of them with one leg just drunk off of the side of her.
She's drinking mead, right? She's drinking
She's
mead.
drinking
Yes.
exclusively mead.
Good.
Oh no.
It's what she would have wanted. I look to the group party.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Let's party.
All right, show of hands. Who's staying to party with the people of Busat? Spackle in the background.
Sorry,
Get to do
Jaeger.
this.
Come on, Jaeger.
Jaeger, what are you up to?
It's,
We'll put you
It's
in a
okay.
glass bubble.
it's okay.
I cast Expeditious Retreat on Jaeger, so he goes right back to the arcanery.
Perfect.
All right,
I'll meet you guys at home.
All right. Travel safely. And Soren, I wanted to talk to you really quickly before we go out and enjoy the rest of the night, if that's okay.
so as you grab him, Doran and
Is it-
Isadora, I'm sure descending to get drinks immediately.
Yeah, Isadora takes Max, like picking her up like she's a 5-year-old and setting her down like she weighs nothing.
And at that, Doran
God.
will wrap an arm around Isadora's waist and fly her down with him.
There you go.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Drinks immediately handed to you. People are clamoring, reaching through the crowd just to touch your shoulders, just to brush against the heroes of Busat as drinks are shoved into your faces and drums start beating in the night as the songs of revelry and celebration begin to echo through Busat. And amongst that revelry, a quiet moment on the rooftop between Maximilian and Soren. And Batran, are you still up on the roof, or did you follow Doran and Soren?
No, I went down
Isadora?
into the crowds.
Batran's immediately handed drinks. People are trying to pat you and Spackle on the back as Spackle's like moving through, but they keep like missing her, and they're like, "Ah, it's a weird looking girl." Ah, more drinks.
All of our reactions are very sort of like,
Someone hands
I
you
love
a
you too,
beer, and then
random
there's another
citizen.
glass of like some liquor for each of you. There's multiple flagons of different types of alcohol just shoved at you, and eventually you find your way through the crowd to where there's a large circle where a troupe of musicians has started playing songs recounting the battles of the day, and immediately starts singing about the Midnight Parliament as you guys grab drinks and sit around the fire.
I'll add pyrotechnics by expending a
back along my
red weapon.
knee.
All right, what was the moment between the two on the roof then?
Hey Soren, you mentioned you had ascending left.
I've got one. Who's it going to?
Can you check in on Irene?
Of course. What shall I say?
I just, well, I want to make sure that she's safe, and if she is in any danger, that she just should get out of there. I know. I mean, she's called the Queen's Champion now. She's almost entirely working with like just changelings and Ebon Hand on the daily, and I just want to make sure that she puts herself first before she puts this mission, and I'm just scared for her, and I want to make sure that she's okay.
That's a lot.
You're succinct.
All right, fine. I'll succinct it for you.
I'm not good at. Are you kidding me? It's me. I speak a lot. That's my whole thing. I talk a lot. I say words, and they do the things.
They do indeed. Kind of gesture out to the crowd. They do indeed. All right, so you want to know she's safe. You want to make sure she prioritizes her own safety over that of the mission. Anything
Yes.
else? Anything important?
I miss her.
Good enough.
Did you have a suggestion?
Not at all.
Bisou. I don't know.
All right, typing that up.
25 words is fun.
The rest of you are hearing bits of this shanty going on. Oh, gather round, ye brave and bold, hear the tale of heroes untold. In Busat's darkest, a dire plight, the Midnight Parliament took up the fight. With swords aflame and spells so grand, they faced the horde of fearsome band, undead creatures, a relentless tide, but these heroes stood side by side. And there's a shanty going around. Hail the Midnight Parliament, the saviors of Busat. In legends and lore, their names forever cast. They battled the darkness, their courage unwavering, with valor and might, their victory resounding. All hail the Midnight Parliament. And there's more.
Isadora is wading through the crowds. Like, anybody got the strongest liquor known to man? None of this ain't gonna work for me. I need your strongest stuff, and I need the most of it.
There is essentially corn mash Everclear that's available. That's distilled from agave. That's refined in stills to be about 170 proof. That's, you know, some of the people of Pars Heath make in their homes. That's, you know, some of the agave that's available in the deserts. They bring in and they make this very strong distilled liquor that's, you know, used for burning warts off the mules, as Ron Swanson would say. And someone eventually grabs you, and it's a clay jar that they just like pour into a glass, and it looks like a kind of murky, almost unfiltered soju like texture.
She puts a hand on their shoulder and is like, "You're a good man. I appreciate you offering this to me." And takes the clay jug.
You're a good. Oh, I got a glass still.
I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna feel it unless it's the strongest thing you got.
You have the opportunity and choice to get drunk as a touched, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be pretty strong though, but you can choose to become drunk.
Yep.
All right, you got your message there.
Yep, sending that off. Send a copy to Sarah too.
Okay. She responds back pretty quickly. Is everything okay? I'm laying low. Things are business as usual, waiting for a moment to strike. All my love.
I relay
Is she
it word
okay?
for word.
He said he relays
She
it
meant
word
that,
for word.
like, she meant it as a friend, though, right?
I grab her by both sides of her cheeks.
Yeah.
You're very smart. Just ruffle her hair a little bit and fly down.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Isadora is trying to arm wrestle people in the crowd. She's at a table, just very loud, like, "Who's the next contender?"
Dorn will step up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what we all wanted to see.
PvP.
And are you guys having a wrestling match? You said.
PvP.
No, an arm wrestling match.
Okay, Josh, I'm gonna need some
drunk
battle
arm wrestling
music
match.
as the drunk arm wrestling match begins.
Easy.
So the way this
not for
begins,
nothing, but I'm pretty good.
the way this begins is you are both neutral. A critical success or a critical failure is worth 2 points in either direction. Whoever wins the contest per round, the needle is moved 1 point in their direction. The first person to hit 3 points their direction wins the match. And the crowd gets just wild as the two of you sit down together at this table. Everything is cleared. The people who were arm wrestling before, even the guys who were brawling and scrapping right next to you, just fighting in the streets, stop. And they're like, they're doing it! They're doing it! And everybody just gets this huge crowd around to watch. And the two
Isadora
of you...
leans in. She's like, "Listen, Doran, whatever happens."
I'm not
Whatever
gonna go
happens.
easy on you.
I want you to know you're my best friend.
Someone shouts and then it's, I hear Doran once got beat by a girl. This should be normal for him.
I would like to rage.
All right.
Backo finds that person and goes,
Someone wets their pants and screams in the crowd. Round 1 of arm wrestling match supreme between Isadora and Doran. I need an athletics check from both of you, please. It's a
23.
Oh.
The number to beat's 23, Isadora.
Funny.
Isadora with a 20. We go 1 point in favor of Doran as you feel your grip starting to slip. All right, next round. Let me get another set of athletics checks from the two of you. 21 for
21.
Doran.
21.
The crowd starts cheering. Bets are going wildly. People are collecting money as Doran and Isadora are locked in conflict. Doran just got a slight upper hand, and Isadora locks him in. Next round. Oh no! Natural 20! The crowd goes wild as Doran flexes with all his might.
Man.
And crushes Isadora's arm into the table. And
Damn.
immediately people gather around you. There's citizens around Isadora screaming, he's a cheater! He cheated his way to victory! And people around Doran like, you back the fuck off! He's the strongest dragonborn to walk these streets! Drinks are slammed in front of the both of you as the crowd starts arguing whether or not the victory was legitimate. But the two of you have that mutual respect.
Yeah, she wraps her arm around him and just clinks their drinks together and is like, all right, this one's for you, man. And just chugs the whole thing.
The crowd goes crazy and just swarms around Isadora and Doran. You two celebrating the absolutely just wild moment of revelry in this crowd of people.
Doran, being drunk and a gentleman, will take the hand that he that he was arm wrestling Isadora with. He'll take it and just go, you are a very, very admirable, powerful opponent. My head is off to you. And he's gonna the hand, and then
Doran, you respectfully kiss the hand and cease for a brief moment and take 12 points of piercing damage as something fiery and hot enters your right lower armpit.
Someone fucked up.
Uh-oh. What's
You-
wrong?
you-
Wait, what's that look?
Gasp for a
Are you
moment.
okay?
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
oh
What?
gosh, okay.
No. No.
This feels
It is
like
a
it, but none of us see this,
21.
The poison starts to course through your veins, and you feel the fire in your heart burn it out of your body. As you look down, and you are bleeding from your right side profusely.
Did someone just stab him?
There is a knife in the shape of a claw sticking into your rib cage.
I pull it out.
Oh my god, Doran.
As you do, you notice the scrap of paper wrapped around it.
I immediately unwrap it and read it.
In your sister's handwriting, we failed to kill one of our father's sons, but Kirmi will claim her prize. The affront against the Fangs by Amana's forces will not go unnoticed.
Yes.
Keep an eye over your shoulder, brother. And
That's
it's...
a weird way to deliver that message.
You look to the crowd around you, just this massive swarm of people. Impossible to spot anybody moving through this crowd.
It worked.
Doran, is it poison? Is it poison?
It was. I think I'm okay.
Are you sure?
We need to get to the others.
Him. Yeah, well, I can do something about this. I can suck the poison from the wound. Don't
You're
let
not.
me-
You're not feeling very poisoned, Doran. But the thought,
It's.
I'm immune. I'm
there's an
immune.
innuendo in there somewhere. No, it's fine. No, the poison did not take. I am okay, but we should definitely inform the others of what has just happened.
as the
Okay.
I
rest
don't know
of
why
you
I'm
have,
reverting back to this voice.
as the rest of
She
you have
goes under
like
his
drinks
shoulder.
in hand, like enjoying the celebration. You saw the arm wrestling match take place. People were patting you on the backs and handing you drinks. You've got, fresh goblets of wine. The celebration's probably been going on for an hour now after that conversation before this arm wrestling match takes place. You get a look back, and you get every 5 minutes or so you glance back to your friends, and this time Botrin, Maximil, Soren, when you glance back to Isadora after the wrestling match, and people are grabbing you all in the crowd. Which one's really stronger? Who wins most of the time with these? Talking about these arm wrestling matches. You look back, and at this point, you see Isadora's got an arm of Doran over him, and Doran's clutching his side.
Oh shit.
We see
We
blood.
Excuse me,
hustle
folks.
towards
I need to
the
go
building that
check
they were
on my
standing on.
friends.
The crowd is,
We're back down ground.
they've
level
had
now.
their hour or so of fawning over you all, and the celebration has turned from how you all focused it, back to the citizens of Busat, and they proclaimed you as the heroes. Everybody's had their chance at this point, so when you ask for them to move, they move aside. They're back to just celebrating, enjoying their evening, that
Last
they all
blood,
survived.
5 points.
All right. The bleeding stops with the healing word as Soren catches up to you.
What the
5
fuck happened?
points.
Party
One in the
too
crowd
hard?
stab you?
It was my sister. Somehow, I don't know. Here, look at what
Dagger
do you make of this?
Well.
I'm still doing Doran voice. I can't understand this. I'm in too much pain right now. Here, and he hands the note over.
Do you read Draconic?
Yes.
Good. You're set. I mean, I ask it rhetorically for the stream. I know you read Draconic.
Yes.
But it is in Draconic, yes.
Manas. Remember, back in Katya, we had the idea to turn the Fangs of Kirimi and people who were working with Imana against each other. Didn't we? Or it was we wanted to turn enemy against enemy. And
I
so
thought we
now
were-
that
I thought they
was
were
the
working
idea.
together, wasn't they?
We
I
thought
don't know if they were.
So they delivered this message to you by stabbing it into your rib cage?
You
That's
know how assassins are.
Your sister is a fucking demented person. I want to say that.
she
Let it be on record.
didn't used to be.
Alright.
It's been
But-
half a century or half a decade getting brainwashed and tortured.
But enemy of my enemy?
So they see
Who's the
Amana
bigger
as more
enemy?
of a
We could
threat.
work with them.
I don't want to work with them.
They just put a knife in Doran.
But if we know how to,
Yes.
if we know how to counteract the poison and the brainwashing,
I don't care about the poison. I care about them undermining our efforts while they have us off guard. They found you in a crowd and they stabbed you to relay a message. That is a clear sign that that is how they will behave moving forward as well. If they wanted to work with us, they could fucking talk to us. They need us. They're scared. That's why this comes in this form.
Yes, but couldn't that be a good thing?
Maybe.
I mean,
You always trust
according...
an assassin to stab you in the back, you'll never be disappointed.
Well, yeah, but if we have reasonable expectations, I'm not saying we could become friends. I'm just saying we could, if we have a like enemy, if we both hate Amana with all our guts.
Let's get back inside and talk this out. Cover, exit, and try and get us back to the Arcanery.
You head into the
Quietly.
Arcanery, or are you going to meet Mateo and Shatha as you intended to at the Adventurers Guild? Well, I guess retcon it. Jaeger, where did you tell the group you were going to meet them at before you went to the Adventurers
said he was
Guild?
going home.
Were you
He
going
said he
back
was
to the
going-
Arcanery first?
Yeah, I wanted to go gather. Now that I have a bag of holding, go gather everything.
All his
All the
supplies
red
and
string.
notes.
So you would be waiting at
Yep.
the Arcanery then.
Yep.
Let's go fetch Jaeger from the Arcanery and head to Mateo's.
I mean, I know it'd be stupid. It'd be foolish for us to trust them, but it may not be foolish for us to have crazy assassins in our corner, just so long as we don't turn our back to them, you know?
In my experience, they wouldn't really be in our corner, Max. This note is
I don't
clear. It makes clear that she means to take my head.
And I don't think we can outmaneuver a gang of highly intelligent, capable, shape-shifting assassins.
We're
Not
not
without
gonna
help.
let them hurt you, Doran. Well, we're not gonna let them kill you. Sorry about them hurting you. That sucks.
That's my fault. I let my guard down.
You were partying.
We all
Don't.
did. Come on, let's move.
Okay. You head back to the Arcanery. The party is still out in the streets everywhere. People are sitting on porches. They hail you as they go by. Some of them leave their porches to come up and shake hands and kind of see that you're dealing with something, but give you a pat on the back and say thanks. But as you get closer to the Northern Ridge district, you make your way to an area where things are starting to get a little quieter. The celebrations died down out here. It's more towards the central streets. And you find just a few candles lit in the Arcanery and the shadow of Jaeger moving around, working diligently within the Arcanery.
Lock the door immediately after we get in.
Jaeger, as they come in, you see the bleeding has stopped, but there is still clearly blood on Doran's right side.
This is exactly why I didn't want to go out and party.
I weren't looking for you. It's his sister.
It was meant to be a joke, but so that means she's here.
She was.
She was. She used the cover of crowd to find me.
What does this mean?
They want to ally themselves with us so that they can take on Imana with us.
Now, why would they want to do that?
There's been some debate about that.
Well, they don't like Mana because she, like... I'm not actually sure. Why don't they like her?
She means to kill and corrupt everything imaginable. I would imagine that includes them, and they're smart enough to figure that out.
So it has been a few weeks too, but you guys did hear conversations between this son of the Oathbreaker, who was opening the door for agents of Kirmi initially,
Right.
and then this agent of Amana came in
Killed them.
and killed them both and
Yeah.
took it.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So,
Maximilian
There's-
seems to think it's an enemy of my enemy situation.
I don't think we are cunning enough or well equipped enough to handle the espionage to manipulate an organization of assassins.
Not with that attitude.
So you just want to befriend them and go with their crazy plot to take over the world? I mean, this is two evils.
Friends? No. No way are we friends with people who stab us. Or kill our siblings. No, not friends. Co-workers. Colleagues.
I should probably tell Rinzeth what happened.
Is Rinzeth okay?
He's
He
with
would've been-
Serene.
Oh no, that's
Yeah,
Maddie.
would have been with Serene. Yeah, no,
Oh, welcome back, Maddie.
Near as I can figure, she should be keeping him safe. But I don't know where they are. It would be hard to contact them right now.
Is there a way we can contact them? Are they like around the Sons of Soren? Do you have your Rocky Talkie that you can talk to
I can check, but
small annoying guy with?
Philo.
Philo, yeah, him.
I'll go check in on him. You keep discussing whatever this fucking mess is. I'll walk outside with the Rocky Talkie and just man, let them talk.
My man.
Sure. Call up Philo on the Rocky Talkie.
I'll just like DM it to you, I guess, but basically just checking to see if they know where Rinzeth and Serene are, and if they are available and okay.
Yeah. You basically get him that message. Haven't seen them, but you should get to the guild. Apparently there's a message.
Ah, fuck.
The boys said it's bad.
Ah, fuck.
Oh.
I said it was bad. Just come back inside, tell them, yeah, that it's bad. We got to get to the guild.
All right, everyone, make sure you have everything.
Yeah, I've done it. I have most of everything.
Besides the furniture, everything else is like missing off the walls. The walls are absolutely bare. There is
Jaeger.
cigarette
That was what it
nicotine stains around what used to be papers hung up on the wall, and you can see the faint outline of the difference in color of all the cigarettes smoked against this wall, and the fresh papers that were there now taken down.
Jaeger, on the topic of having everything and being ready, do you happen to have any injectables that enhance strength or progress? Not in a dirty way.
Are you
know
on
what I mean?
steroids?
Yeah, I do. Just in case, worst case scenario, could save a life.
I mean, I can whip up some pretty gnarly stuff, but I don't have anything like directly on me.
Okay, well, just to plant that in your mind for later, next time.
Sure. Strength stuff you want?
It's something that'll help me fight gooder.
I can get behind that.
Okay.
As the new crystal crackles off the horn.
I believe the actual term is performance enhancers.
Yeah, performance enhancement.
Take this blue pill. Why don't you?
I don't got what you think. I'm not packing what you think I'm packing. I'm lacking what you think I'm packing.
That's the trick. This blue pill's a moisturizer. All right, moving on from sexual enhancing Cyorion drugs, because that is not canon. Not happening.
That's not what I was talking
It is
about.
now.
That's gonna circle right back around.
To the cucumber? No,
That's
we're
gonna, yeah,
not.
cucumber. That's
No.
gonna come right back
No,
around.
this is
Nope.
why I drink. This is all rum.
We
today,
need, sh-
just all
we
rum.
need shirts made. I'm why the DM drinks.
God, yes.
Cukes. We need more cukes.
Then my drink or my shirt that's just drunk in writing. You can't understand because I'm too fucking drunk from the rest of y'all people.
Rough initiative. Rough initiative.
Rock waffle
Big Dragon
furnish-
is with y'all.
All right. So y'all heading over to the Adventurers Guild then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gather everything from the shop that we need and head out.
Jaeger, did you manage to pick up everything you've needed from the shop? Was there anything else you were after? Sorry, we went to everybody else. Just wanted to see if there was anything else you needed.
Yeah, I mean, all the literature that we've collected, pretty much anything of, I mean, sentimental value, not like face value, but like anything that like he could grab that had any type of tie into us or information of what we were looking at. All of that is now with him.
Okay.
Everything else is just as it was.
So as you guys head off to the Adventurers Guild headquarters, you see a few people outside with Shoutha and Mateo standing in the streets, concerned, and they see you all approach. Mateo leans in towards Soren. I think it best you all leave before dawn. We're readying a caravan now.
Why?
Just
Said there was bad news. What happened?
go inside.
All right.
The once bustling halls of the Adventurers Guild headquarters on the northern side of Usat and the Ridge now bore witness to a macabre tableau. A grim reminder of ruthlessness that lurked in the shadows of Usat. The air hangs heavy with the stench of blood. Chilling and silence envelops the scene. In this dimly lit chamber, 3 bodies lay lifeless, their expressions frozen in a mixture of fear and disbelief. The assassins, clearly the fangs of Kirmi, had left their mark with a deadly precision and brutality. Their victims, members of the guild who sought refuge in these hallowed halls, had fallen prey to a fate more sinister. The carnage left behind is a testament to the expertise of these killers, their methods leaving no room for mercy. Amidst the gruesome display, etched in blood, adorned the wall. Do not harbor the heir of Argenthrixis. The words written in sinister elegance, sending a chilling message to those that dared to. It was clear that now this force has not just set sights on Doran, but on the guild, willing to eliminate anyone who stood in the way of their agenda.
And these people on the floor, they're not Dragonborn.
They're members of the guild.
Anyone that we know?
No.
Okay.
Investigating the area, the chamber mirrors marks of desperate struggle, overturned furniture, shattered glass serves as haunting reminders of the violence that unfolded. And the flickering candlelight casts an eerie shadow dancing across the room, heightening the sense of foreboding that hung in the air. Outside, the moon casts its pale light upon the headquarters, casting an ethereal glow over the scene. The night, once a symbol of adventure and camaraderie, now carries this air of trepidation. The guild members that congregate outside, you hear whispers of fear rippling through them, their collective grief and shock echoing as they grapple with the loss of their comrades.
Do they look like they were friends with the specific people that were on the floor?
Some may have been
like
friends.
part of their troop or something?
Some may have been comrades of them, but you haven't had the time to question them yet.
I would like to if I could.
Absolutely.
Wander outside, find someone who looks distraught. Were they friends of yours?
I had worked with Belvine in the past, and he's a good man. We've done a couple missions together, and up and coming adventurers trying to make our way, really trying to find our home and a troop of our own that we could register with, but nobody that was a long-term friend, acquaintances.
I am sorry. It's not easy losing someone.
Too. It survived the assault and the siege, helped everybody, and came back to rest. Only to put down, searching for the heir of Argentrixis. I don't know. Someone. But
I'm going to tell you because frankly, I know it's going to get out anyway. I want this to be a moment, and I'll kind of start to address the more wide group. I want this to be a moment that highlights who it is that we are at war with. They hurt your uninvolved random friends, but us. That's how they do what they do. Collateral damage is their calling card.
somebody responds.
City is a testament to it.
Who's they?
Very dangerous people. Not really my place to say, but ask someone within the guild, I'm sure they can tell you.
Shaltha takes the opportunity to address the crowd. I asked for volunteers tonight to assist the Midnight Parliament. Clearly they are not safe in the walls of Busat. Even though the siege has ended, these assassins seek to undermine our efforts against those that would attack our very walls. This is testament to the help that these brave heroes need. They need strong men, able-bodied men and women fighters, warriors to escort them so that they may face the great evil across the sea. We've heard rumor that whoever this is, this Amana, has wronged more than just us, and hopefully this is testament to that those against her are desperate. But we must strike first for the city of Busat and for all of our brothers and sisters who have died here. We must help the Midnight Parliament and escort them today and before the dawn safely out of the city. Onwards to Brisbane so that we may make haste across the great sea. Behold, Rima, we can find answers. They seek Doran. They want his blood, but we will not give it to them. This crowd of mercenaries erupts in cheers. A few of them clap Doran on the back. You hear whispers, "We won't let them have you, Doran." Doran seeks his revenge one day against these individuals, but he knows his heart and his mission is clear now. What say you, Doran? Do we fear these assassins, or do we face the evil that threaten Busat?
Doran has been standing there, seeing, the words, "Do not harbor the heir of Argentrixis" on the wall, and has basically been in his own world since then. And when he feels other people trying to grab his attention and trying to muster up the crowd of mercenaries, he is going to shrug off their hands from his shoulders, and he's just going to say, "This is my fault. These people are dead because my siblings sought me and sought to harm anyone standing between us. I will not have any more blood on my hands. I cannot ask you to get involved. and he is going to walk away.
Max has been holding his hand this whole time and is not going to let go. I didn't want to say it because people were doing things, but after seeing what's on the wall, she goes up and holds his hand. And
As Doran walks away, holding Maximilian's hand, you hear Shatha immediately whip the mercenaries into a frenzy. He continues to protect the citizens of Busat. Who stands with him? And you hear a crowd erupt with eyes. And within moments, as Doran starts walking westwardly out of the city towards the objective, a band of mercenaries on horseback with wagons of supplies exits the Adventurers Guild and falls in line behind him. And you watch as 30 members of the Adventurers Guild, mercenaries, former Midatona hammers, all fall in line behind Doran as he heads west from the city. What are the rest of you doing?
it's not your fault.
Marching.
The few
Maddie,
that are
you're
back.
by the way. But we'll wait for Soren.
No, go ahead. Whatever she wanted to say.
How is Isadora gonna know when Malara has any word?
She'll contact you with sending. That's something they established
Okay.
before. Yep.
Okay.
She said that she'd get that information to that person and then get the supplies to the boat for you.
Okay. So I was like, she doesn't have a walkie-talkie.
She can cast the spell. She knows you. Soren, go ahead.
This is kind of a world question. Do I know how much, like, if part of the mercenary guild membership thing is that, like, they will see to it that you are buried in the way that you see fit, or is that something that just falls to whoever?
That falls to the guild. That's part of like
Okay.
when you sign up. If you don't have a troop, you have your next of kin listed, your last rites listed.
Okay.
And this is something that just freshly happened within the last couple hours.
Yeah.
Almost coinciding exactly with the time Doran was stabbed, probably. So these people, there are people who are hanging behind Mateo, like sees people trickling off, and he kind of looks up, sees you looking around. We've got this here. We'll bury them as according to their last wishes, but you shouldn't leave the group behind.
Oh, no.
It's a hard road that you walk, Soren. And hopefully
We all walk it
leaving
the same.
Busat will bring a little bit of the heat off you. I think that they're wounded and taking advantage of their position momentarily, but I think that they're running like wounded dogs.
You're staying here?
I have the guild to look over. Shatha was my second in
Good.
command, and I'll
I
stay
want you
here.
to tell all of them that they are scared. That is why they did this.
Absolutely.
Tell everyone.
We'll tell them all.
Tell Serene
Soon.
that I give her my thanks for bringing me into this.
When I see her next, I haven't seen Serene in a while, but I know she's been busy. If I see her next, I'll let her know. Thanks, Isadora.
She's the reason I know all of you. She's the reason I'm here. So, figure before we leave, I'd leave a word.
I'm sure she knows. Serene's not one to make connections unless they're mutually beneficial. She knows that you'll gain something from this deal.
We can reach out to her on the road as well.
Jaeger, any closing thoughts from you as the troop begins to march west?
Yeah, Jaeger sticks in the room a little bit, playing with a pendant, and on the necklace is a ring of some sort, and he's just fiddling with it. Then he sticks it back in, and if Shatha's still there, kind of walks past her and just says, "You know, humanity needs hope, not blind faith or be prodded into a certain direction. And although we need the backup, these people need to know who they're potentially walking up against, and I don't think we're their saviors by any means, but
I think they know, Jaeger. They follow heroes, and They earn their keep like any.
Hope so.
She turns to walk, and you feel that kind of pendant call back to like touch it briefly again as you that ring as you get ready to make your way behind the rest of the troop, looking over the carnage in front of you in the hall.
Just touch it and put it back in.
As you do, a voice reaches out to you.
Do you know what you walk to, or what walks with you?
You look behind you, expecting to see the source of the voice. Nothing there. And that's where we'll end today's session.
What the fuck did you do?
All right. So glad to have the whole crew back as we leave Busat less than a day after the siege, making our way to Brisbane, the coastal city to the west that will lead us to the Frost Ring of Cyorion, Holderima. So, thank you all
Where did
so
you get
much.
Cold clothes. Shit.
Yeah, your cold clothes are coming. They are on.
Oh, that's right. They're on the boat.
They are on the boats. You will be met. You are leaving the city with supplies you need. The guild's got your back. The Luminary Academy and the guild are working together to get you everything else you need. It will meet you in Brisbane, and you guys got a 10-day or a 19-day march. I'm sorry, a 19-day march ahead of you. Thanks everybody for joining us. So happy. That's a big march, but it's gonna go quick too. We've got our quick long travel thing, which is just great. Just a couple little fun things along the way. But thanks everybody for joining us. Please come back and see us next week. We're here Mondays 5:30 p.m. Eastern, and we just have a wonderful time with all of you. So hopefully we'll see you guys throughout the week online in Discord. Join us there. So much awesome art. Sam, it's been mentioned you need to post your character up from Nate's game that you got to play.
Show them, Deus.
Show them. I see it because I'm part of that Discord because I got to play a one shot, but you got to show them that character art in the Discord. Other than that, thanks everybody for a wonderful session. And we'll see you all next week. We love you all. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Chad.
Bye, Mom.
Bye, Mom.
All right.